special prayers are going to be recited. Then it's off to see the parents. Muslims traditionally ask for forgiveness from the elders for any wrongs committed during the year. More visits are made to see relatives and friends, where most of the home cooked feasts await, and they are mostly very highly delicious and tasty. Mother and housewife, of course, will be busy preparing the foods like cakes, ketupat, lemang, rendang, and many various delicious foods. Well, it's once in a year, and this sort of food, can only be fulfilling to us if we enjoy them, isn't it? So it's okay to enjoy if we know how to control ourselves and limit this sort of intake. Yet we can, really enjoy this festive occasion, festive day, healthily as well as worry-free. You see, there are many things, that we cannot just be scared of. We need to face reality. It is an auspicious day. We have to celebrate. We need to enjoy, but according to certain limit and how much you know about yourself and the food. So we don't have to keep worrying about something yet you can't find a solution that can further cause concern to the well-being of our body. What is important is to understand. That's why the talk, about health, is so important, that if people were to take the initiative, to participate more of these health talks, you will start to gather more information with regards to how on earth can our body behave and enjoy from the food we took to make us stay healthy even as we grow old. And if you look at this slide, there are a lot of hidden calories and carbohydrates in our festive delicacies. Like if you talk about just the biryani rice, one plate carries 348 calories, and the carbohydrate is about 48 grams. And if you were to really work out on the carbohydrate, if converted to calorie, this plate will give us how many calories, like the 1 gram of carbohydrate equals to 4 calories. 1 gram, 4 calories. And if you talk about the plate here carry 48 grams of carbo, times 4 equal to 192 calories. So if this calorie from carbohydrate 192 added to 348 calories, this plate alone is already giving us 540 calories. And just imagine, you take in these 540 calories of food. Are you doing anything to burn it? Are you, able to make sure that this calorie is converted to, energy and not just to load, which is going to, or one day enable the body to have complaints and, the weakness. We must know how many calories of food we are taking, and must we do something to work on the calorie so that it will not load the body. Yeah? There are a lot of things that we take, but we didn't account on what it carries. And these are the food, the makeup of the food the calories are they needed, in this amount that your body can handle. If it is over what the body can handle, something is going to go wrong because it is too costly to the body. That's why this plate alone, the biryani rice is already carrying, 540 calories from this, calorie plus the carbohydrate, which is, the quite high. And if we keep on taking, but without understanding, then it is really a load to the system, a load to certain organs, and the organs might not fulfill the job. That is where things will go wrong one day. Of course, not just one day. If we take the one day alone, once in a while, no problem. But we can't continuously load so much of the calorie into the system. And then when we talk about the beef rendang, yes, the calorie content is 468, but the carbohydrate is only 11. So if you plus times the 4, the 11 times, so it's only 44. Added, will not be more than the first one, which, the biryani rice is very heavy. It's 540. This is only, it's still less than 500. And in order, to burn, 400 to 500 of calories, we need to do from, 40 to 50 minutes of exercise. Then only you can burn them. And all these are converted to energy, which is really good. We cannot say calorie not good. Calorie is good, but are you sure you are converting them into the form of energy where it is meant for the body? If it is converted, by all means, calories are good. If it is not, then it's a load. See? What about the, lontong, carries 214 calories and the carbohydrate is 35. Whereas, the chicken satay, 180 calories and the carbohydrate is only 3 grams. So it's okay, if you just take a little bit like that, it's no problem. The dodoi, 111 calories and the carbo is 25, which is higher than even the satay. And the ketupat, which is 250 calories, the carbohydrate is also, 20 grams. So if you were to, see overall calorie the food carries, and work according to your body weight, and also whether you are moving around or not. If you're moving, then the body is converting. If we sit the whole day and the load, is so much of the calorie, it is a burden to the system. See? So these are what we say, hidden calories and carbohydrates, not only during Raya, in fact, even other occasions. When a person celebrates even birthday, festive season, auspicious, occasion, all these, are the food normally people will overlook. And if you talk about once in a while, no problem. But if you talk about every time or most of the time, then it may pose a serious problem to the body. Our body might not be able to stand. So we have to, be, serious enough to know your body well, and also the food, what sort of calories, what sort of carbohydrate, and also what sort of sugar level it carries. You see, the past, the slide, we're talking about hidden calories and carbohydrates. This slide, we are talking about hidden calories and sugar. And then like iron syrup, you look at it, as nothing. But, it carries 70 calories and the sugar is 18 grams, which is quite high to a certain extent. And then the carbonated drinks, 130 calories. The sugar is 26 grams, which is very, very high. In most of the carbonated drinks, the sugar level is extremely high because, it is about 400 100 to 600 ml, depending on, the package, size. And the lychee, drink also carry, 250 calories, higher than even the cola or even, ice syrup. And the sugar level is higher than even the cola, which is, 27.5 grams. And the same applies to, sugar. 1 gram sugar equals, 4, calories. Same as carbohydrate. 1 gram carbohydrate equals 4 calories. 1 gram, the sugar also equals to 4 calories. It's the same. So if you go to, times the 18, it's going to give you, a lot of the calorie. And if you add it, into the base of the ice syrup or even carbonated drinks, then you know how high that beverage you drink contain the amount of that, calorie. You see, even the orange juice, 151 calories. Sugar is 32.6, which is higher than even lychee. And the blackcurrant drink, 149 calories, carrying the sugar level of 36.3 grams. What about, the sweet tea you're drinking, mostly every day? Yeah. The calories 120 and the sugar level is 30 grams, including the coffee, morning breakfast coffee you're drinking. More of even, this, sugar content you're talking about. So if we, keep on taking high calorie food, we must also at the same time allow the body to, react, do exercise, to burn, the calorie, so that, you then will allow the body to benefit the calorie as energy. See? And sugar is actually, the incredibly hard, to burn off, even through exercise. And that can often lead to weight gain. So don't always take for granted, if I exercise a lot, my body is capable to burn. To a certain extent, sometimes sugar are not easy to burn. And it needs, really, the hardcore exercise, like, cardiac, the exercise, or, you have to run, say, 100 meters, not, the marathon, slow, that will not burn so much. So it depends on what sort of exercise to burn off the sugar. To burn off carbo is easier. To burn off sugar is not easy. So it needs, certain amount of, exercise to be able to burn off those, incredibly hard, the content of a sugar. And then when you talk about, the sugar overload, it will create a lot of symptoms like suddenly headache lah, and then the irritability lah, very fatigued, and always feel, like tired, suddenly, and jittery, and then very anxious, feeling, shaky or dizzy, and most of the time after food you feel hungry. You see or not? At any time when a person complain about, you want to eat again after one meal that is less than 2 hours, sometimes it was because of the sugar level. And a lot of bloating start to take place. Just imagine, sugar alone is going to create a lot of this, unnecessary burden to the body. Not only bad health, but unnecessary burden. And then if these calories are not converted, it will start, the process of turning into, fats. If you want to know the time, it is roughly, 4 hours after taking sugar. If we don't burn them or convert them into energy, 4 hours later, this, the sugar content, from the calorie will turn into bad fats. That's why some people, they never take a lot of meat or deep fried food or even oily food. Yet, the amount of fats the bad fats, are, extremely high. And they always, don't believe, the report, the blood, the test, from, those, laboratories. They start to complain. They are not unsure of, what is going on in the body. They don't understand the food that they took can be converted to another pattern from, sugar to bad fats. So fats doesn't mean you take meat directly converted to fat. It can be other type of, food, sugar, carbo. If not burned, this calorie, not used, utilized, it will then turn to fats. That's how people gain weight. And that's how our body has a lot of inflammatory, problems and complaint, headache, backache, stomach problem, cannot breathe properly. All these, are concern of, these bad carbo as well as unwanted sugar, which we took without knowing because it's hidden in a lot of today's food. Yeah. So normally, sometimes we might take for granted, I only take 4 teaspoons of sugar, but they don't understand, 1 teaspoon is equal to 4 grams. 1 teaspoon equals to 4 grams. If you take 4 teaspoons of sugar into your coffee, it is already 16. 4 times 4 is already 16 grams. So it's a lot of, the calorie it carries without you knowing, because you don't work out the food, the mass and, the density of, the calorie it carries. We only know how to eat, and our body knows how to enjoy the food, but we never go deep into calculating the calorie. That's how we say, I just keep, and then my body, if it can work with it, I'm okay, I'm healthy, I'm lucky. What if the body cannot? Then the load, will accumulate, and this accumulation takes time to show off, its ability in your body. What, thought type of, problems or disease it carries. So these are all the hidden, calories, the carbohydrate, and as well as, the so-called, the sugar. So if you look at this chart, and you are supposed to ask yourself, are you really able to comply with, the health ministry's chart on daily food recommendation, especially during this Raya? Like you look for, especially, the makanan, the nasi impit lah, buah kacang lah, sate ayam, teh or kopi or plus gula, and then air kosong. So all in all, if you add up, it carries, a total calorie of 430. What about, minum pagi, the lemang, the rendang ayam, the kueh, the tat nanas, and then teh or kopi gula, air kosong again. The total, calorie add up to 240. Then, tengah hari, makan tengah hari, lunchtime, the food lah, nasi tomato lah, ayam masak, air acar timun, tembikai, air, limau nipis, air kosong. So, total calorie, 500. Then comes, the minum, petang, you talk about, the biscuit, the badam, the dal, teh or kopi again, air kosong. The total, the calorie here is 180 calories. Then makan malam, the nasi putih lah, rendang ayam, sayur campur goreng, pisang berangan, air kosong, the total, calorie it carries is 400. Then minum malam lagi, minuman bercoklat, and then the bahulu 2 biji saja dong. Total calorie carries is 170. So for the whole day, the morning you wake up, you take tea time, you take lunch, you take, the tea again in the afternoon, then dinner, and then before you sleep again, minum malam. All in all, added up to 1,920 calorie, which is okay. If we follow this, no problem. The body can handle. Like if you want to know the average, the average calorie requirement now for child, 2 to 3 years old, is about 1,000 calorie per day. 1,000 calorie lah. But if you talk about female, if you want to know a little bit, like female, say 4 to 13 years old is about 1,002 to 1,006, and a female 14 to 30 years of age, your body need 1,008 to 2,000. So here 1,920 is okay, it's comfortable. The body is comfortable. And by the time you're 31 to 51 years of age, your body need from 1,008 down to 1,006. When you're 30, the 24 to 30 is from 1,008 to 2,000. The body, no problem, you can take until 2,000, the limit. But the moment you reach the age of 31 to 51, as ladies is from the top is 1,008 downwards. You cannot take upward anymore. It's better for you to take less, from 1,008 to 1,006. That should be, healthy for the system, for ladies. And what if you talk about men? For or boys from 4 to 13 years of age, you need 1,004 to 1,008. That is for boys. And when you're 14 to 30 years of age, you can take 2,002 to 2,004. That age limit, 14 to 30 years of age. Whereas the moment you're 31 to 51, you better take from 2,002 downwards to 2,000. It's not up anymore. When you're 14 to 30, 2,002 to 2,004. And when you are 31 to 51, you take from 2,002 down to 2,000. So if we can really calculate the amount of calorie for the day and from the food you take according to this pattern, your body will never have complaint. Your body will be very comfortable. Every part of the system, cells will communicate well. That's why if we can handle the food according to the calorie that you know of, and you work out according to your system, to your body weight, you are healthy. So it's okay if a person can really work out the content. So what the health ministry recommended 1,920 is okay. It is within the range, not above 2,000. But of course, it's not meant for everybody here. This is more for adults. Children, if you are not above, say that 14 years of age, if you are not above 14 years of age, it's better they take less. Like, from 5 to 13 years of age, must not take, more than 1,006. It all depends. Unless, sportsmen, they are young, but they, they run about a lot. They participate in, the very active lifestyle, sports, no problem, because the body can burn. If you talk about normal people, not really active, in their daily life, they must reconsider the amount of, calorie we are supposed to take. So it's good if we have something to, work out on, so that we can at least, know how much we are taking, isn't it? So here, is a challenge. Number one, you look at all these food. Don't you think they are tasty? Don't you think they are delicious? Don't you think a lot of them contain, the carbo as well as sugar? So because, it is, they're so sweet, we love them. It turns out to be highly delicious. So at the same time, the hidden ingredients of sugar maybe coconut milk, margarine, butter, or other type of oils added, can contribute to a lot of, inches into your waistline. That's why sugar alone can contribute to automatically weight gain. There are many people who don't eat a lot, but what they took are all content of carbo and sugar. You don't take a lot of food, but you take a lot of all this content, which, your body keep gaining weight. So you cannot measure on amount of food. Sometimes it's not the amount of food. Like if I take a huge amount of vegetables, huge amount, but calorie very low. You see, compared with, sometimes the one plate of rice is not a lot, but the calorie is very high. Isn't it? So sugar is actually very difficult, to burn. Through exercise, always remember. And can often, or most of the time, it was because of the sugar that we gain weight. So all of you out there, if you have been controlling your diet the past 1-2 years and your weight is still going up, then you have to go and understand your food. It is not a matter of your diet, good diet, good healthy diet. Sometimes people say, I control my diet. But if you look at how they eat, with a lot of this carbo, and every time after food they're taking, ice syrup, sweetened, drink, So these are the ones that spike up, the calorie, and your body start to grow, fat. See? So always reconsider what you're taking. Understand what you are really eating. Cannot just keep complaining, if you don't understand. No point to complain about, I'll argue with people. I don't eat a lot. How come I'm fat? You must ask yourself, what are all those food you took? See? So this is where people should understand. So you see, weight gain, one of the biggest health issues after RAYA, or even after any festive season. It can be Chinese New Year, it can be Diwali, it can be even after, the birthday occasion, where people enjoy plentiful amount of delicious food. So the energy intake, of all this food, and compared to with, the energy expenditure, are you sure, your body's, the resting metabolic rate, can handle? Like normally, resting, metabolic rate, in fact, it's the total number of calories burnt when your body is, the completely at rest. And this, the resting metabolic rate, supports us to breathe, our blood to circulate, organ to keep on functioning, and our basic, neurological function. All these, amounted to energy expenditure during, resting metabolic rate. Like anytime you rest, also you breathe. And breathing needs energy also. Blood circulation also need energy. You see? So if you talk about just the resting metabolic rate, for women, you need, around 1,400 calories. And then for men, you need about 1,600 calories during, resting metabolic rate. And then if we can now balance the energy intake with the energy expenditure, that's okay. You see? Whereas, if you just sit, do nothing, you don't exercise, you never go for, jogging or even, brisk walking, you never at all do exercise, and you sit every day, or not, sitting also burn, our body also burn. But just sitting alone, our body burn around 75 calories per hour. 1 hour, body only burns 75, which is very low. If you talk about sit for 10 hours, your body only burns, 750, not even 1,000 calories. And the food you took are always more than 1,000 calories per day. So just imagine, how can your body handle? Isn't it? Your body definitely cannot handle because you're not, the working on the energy intake, and balance up with the energy expenditure. So this imbalance here between, energy intake of high carb, sugar, and fat intake with energy expenditure eventually leads to weight gain. So if we can balance these two, energy intake with energy expenditure, you will never grow fat. Your body stays trim, healthy, and highly active body. This is where if you find at any time after food always feel tired, then your body's energy intake is not balancing with your energy expenditure. After food, if you feel tons of energy, you're very active, you can perform, you can think well, your body is balancing the amount of calories from food you're taking and is providing you the necessary energy to work and to perform. Our body has enough of this to perform because this calorie is burned in the form of energy which the body can utilize. That is how our body is capable to conduct activities as time progresses. So overall, the effects of added sugar intake will lead to even higher blood pressure, inflammation, weight gain, diabetes, fatty liver. All these are linked to an increased risk of heart attack or even stroke one day if we don't balance the energy intake of calorie with the energy expenditure. So something which is very serious in the community of what they call the humans today. You see, sugar is sweet to the mouth, but a lot of damage to the body. We just take the brain alone, poor brain health if we keep on loading sugar, because too much sugar puts the brain into overdrive mood, and when the overstimulated, it can lead to hyperactivity and mood swings. This is how our brain become affected by this overloading sugar. What about people talk about skin aging? Yes, sugar makes your skin look prematurely aged. It breaks down collagen and elastin, the two important proteins that give you your skin shape, structure, and firmness. But the sugar deplete them, breaks them away. So your body might not have these two proteins, the collagen and the elastin, which is so important to support our the mass of muscles, to give the structure and the firmness or the curvature of the body. So when this occurs, your skin may start to look wrinkled, saggy, dry, and down. So if you look at certain people, the skin look very dry. So it is not a matter of your skin has a disease, but your skin it's been blocked by the sugar content, which doesn't enable the skin to achieve the two proteins, like elastin as well as the collagen. Then what about the increased stress, which I always say is very detrimental to health? Eating too much sugar may increase your risk for mood disorders, stress, or even depression. There are a lot of young children suffering from depression. You think it is a sickness? No. Probably it was the sugar content from the food that was, the overstimulating the body, amounting to, depression, stress, mood disorders. I'm very sure a lot of parents today have a lot of, so-called depressive, mood from children, or disorder of the brain, or stress. I'm very, very sure out of 10, families, more than 7 of them always complain about children. Mood disorders, mood swings, depression. All these are not sickness of whatever. If you see a doctor, they keep telling you about, depression, whatever, or your mental, the disease. In fact, it's not a disease, but something blocks. It's a building block, Sugar is a building block. This allowing the brain to do what the brain should do. Okay? Then you talk about high blood pressure. Yes, sugar inhibits, sugar inhibits the production of nitric oxide. Yeah, we cannot just say, wow, it leads to high blood pressure. We must also understand why sugar can lead, to high blood pressure. Just because sugar inhibits our body to produce nitric oxide. And when nitric oxide is not in the blood vessels, without nitric oxide, narrowing of the blood vessels, will lead to high blood pressure. We need nitric oxide to widen the artery. But without the nitric oxide, our artery narrows down. Once it narrows, it starts to form a jet, it starts to push. And that's how it creates, a certain amount of blood pressure. Then what if we talk one, of course, diabetes is one. A lot of people, should know that I take too much carbo, I take too much sugar, and if this load is too heavy, and if my body is not able to synthesize them, of course, you will end up, diabetes. This, in fact, the food you take, is not allowing your cells the ability to use insulin. Our cells should use insulin to make sure our body is insulin sensitive. If not, it will lead to hyperglycemia or even diabetes. This is how in body chemistry, we need certain food to do the job. But too much of a certain, food might block the job and create certain, not only discomfort and pain, but disease or even sickness. Then what about non-alcoholic, fatty liver? There are a lot of ladies, they start to complain, I don't take alcohol. Why I got fatty liver? You see? But they don't understand. High sugar, fructose. In fact, corn syrup, alone can cause, fatty buildup that can lead, to liver, disease. Just, the corn syrup, if you keep drinking, or even the orange juice, the bottled orange juice, which is not 100% oranges, but added contain spiked with certain, sugar. Okay? So sugar can be as damaging to the liver as alcohol. So don't always complain, only people take alcohol, liver will have this disease. Sugar also will create this, problem to our liver. So, even if you are not overweight, it's not more the reason, to limit foods, with added sugar, such as, even soda, pastries, or even, candies. We have to limit. We cannot keep on taking the food, without, the other people's business. We have to understand every intake of food, whether this food give me the calorie for the body cells, to work appropriately, or too much of the calorie to load until, they are not able to perform. We have to understand. Yeah. Then weight gain. Yeah, a lot of people, this is where, you start to ask a lot of questions and argue with even doctors. Well, I don't take so much of the sugar. I don't take a lot of food, but why? I am gaining weight. There is, a strong evidence showing that excess sugar is a cause of weight gain. As the body usually, digests, products, containing, the added sugars more quickly, they do not, offset hunger. This can lead to eating more regularly throughout the day and a greater calorie overall. You see, you start to grow, hungry, and you continue to eat, whoever having high content of sugar, already loading sugar lah, your hunger pangs, start to be activated. And when the hunger pangs are activated, you start to want to eat more. Not because you're hungry, but the sugar is spiking, your digestive, procedure, amounting to wrong eating habit. Yeah. Then, the other one is the weakened immunity. Foods that significantly raise blood sugar, such as those high in added sugars, increase the production of inflammatory, proteins like, the tumor necrosis alpha, C-reactive protein, and then the alpha, and the interleukin, the 6, all, of which negatively affect our immune function. That's how immune function is weakened. So when you take something of sugar that start to produce these inflammatory proteins, C-reactive protein, tumor necrosis alpha, and the interleukin 6, your immune system start to decline. So a lot of times, whoever take food containing high carbo and sugar, which your body don't synthesize as energy, these calories start to, activate the secretion of, bad, the inflammatory proteins. And this protein make you weak. And you start to experience a lot of discomfort, pain, or even, weakness. So there are many times we are not sure of, how on earth your body don't feel good and you're not healthy, or you get sick, Most of which, came from the wrong food. Or you think the food is correct, but the hidden, carbo, sugar, and the calories are the one that will disturb our brain, our skin, the brain, even the stress, high blood pressure, diabetes, our liver, weight gain, and our immunity. So something like this, is important. And everybody, if you go in understanding this sugar, you'll be able then, to allow the body to function, to give you the health you want to continue to live, for tomorrow. So something, all of us, in fact, need to understand, and all of us must come in terms with the food which your body can handle, which your body after digesting are all converted. We don't want anything to leave behind. You see? So if after understanding the food you took so delicious, and you enjoy them, and after understanding all the hidden secrets where it carry, and these secrets of, carbo and the sugar, it is time for us to now do something for the body: block, protect, prevent. And if you don't know what sort of food or supplements to take, here we got, Sucra block chromium, which is proven to block sugar and also, carbohydrate from absorbing naturally into your body. We want to block too much of sugar. We also want to block unnecessary, accumulation of carbohydrates. And this sucra block is enhanced with, chromium, which is an essential trace mineral that can improve the body's insulin sensitivity. Our body needs trace element of chromium so that, our body can improve insulin sensitivity, so that, and can at the same time enhance protein, carbohydrates, and lipid metabolism. So this is, in fact, chromium is a metallic element that people need, certain trace amount of it to allow the body to work accordingly to the food which carries carbo and lipid as well as, sugar. And 100% natural proprietary seaweeds, blend from Nova Scotia, Canada. And it's packed with unique polyphenols that neutralize two key enzymes responsible for breaking down carbohydrates, and sugar. So, if it carries a very unique, the polyphenols, then we must also know what then this polyphenol enable the body to function. Research, a number of times has, the proven polyphenols, can help to manage blood pressure levels and keep your blood vessels healthy and flexible. This is one foremost important function where polyphenols can assist the body. And at the same time, the promoting good, the circulation. They also help, to reduce chronic inflammation, which is another risk factor for a heart disease. If too late, the time we know inflammation along the cardiac vessel. So polyphenols, can also reduce and help control your blood sugar levels. This is where we dare to say sugar block, chromium, help the body to block sugar and carb absorption in a natural way. Is because it is totally natural, nothing added, no, even the chemicals are added. So if we have these two key enzymes responsible, for breaking down the carbohydrates and sugar, it will help our body, to contain healthy body weight and healthy, blood sugar or blood glucose. This is how God made us, which our body is supposed to live the way they behave and they want. So just because of today's food, too much of, the easily, ready, available food, which are spiked with a lot of, elements and content, which our body cannot stand, cannot fight, cannot clear, is the load where we need to take something to counter. We need to take some, supplements to make sure the body is able either to block or to clear or to break and to convert. So this is where Suka block here comes in, to serve this, very important purpose. And what would happen when you ingest, these foods? What will happen? Like, the ketupat lah, the, nasi biryani lah, and a lot of those, the tidbits of food, seafood or even the vegetables, fruits, whatever, which is high in carbohydrates and sugar. So when these foods are taken, what will happen? Inside, the mouth, the salivary, glands will release the amylase enzyme to digest carbohydrates into sugar immediately in the mouth. You digest into, sugar. And then once, when it enters the gut, now the pancreas and the small intestine release the amylase and the glucosidase, to digest carbohydrates and sugars. So if, inside the mouth and inside the gut, keep on repeatedly digesting, the carbo into sugar, and your body is not able, to synthesize or to convert or to utilize the sugar, then the extra sugar then is absorbed, into the intestines and leads to an increase in blood glucose levels. See? That's how our the sugar level spike. It can be in the blood, it can be in your urine. You see? So how does Suka block chromium work? How? So if you look at this slide, we just take 4 chewable tablets and chew them. 4 chewable tablets, you chew them. Once the taken, these 4 chewable sugar block chromium will, the help inside the mouth to block, the salivary glands from releasing amylase. We don't want them to digest the carbo in the mouth and turn to sugar so fast. At the same time, also block, the pancreas, and the small intestine to release, the amylase and glucosidase again to digest carbohydrate and sugar. Too fast. If we keep on converting this content to sugar, and the body is not able, not able to utilize enough. That's why when you start to stop them, no sugar are produced in the mouth, and less of which are produced in the gut, means, less sugar and carbohydrates are broken down and absorbed, as calories. You see? So if less of these, are absorbed into as calories, you are sure your sugar level is not going to be high. That is how sugar block chromium works in our system, by this allowing the mouth to digest inside the mouth, when food is inside the mouth, to digest, carbo and sugar too fast, and also the pancreas, and intestine in the gut, not, to digest the carbo and the sugar. So if the body don't produce so much of the sugar, less sugar now are in fact, broken and absorbed into the as calories into the bloodstream. Okay? So this is a very normal, natural, and common response from the body, where certain things, certain food or supplements you take that is able to assist the body in this way, the manner our body wants. So sugar block, the first and only multi-action sugar and carbo, blocker. Here we got, the 4 products. One is white kidney bean extract, green coffee, fermented soy, and our sugar block chromium. So if you look at, the white kidney bean, it can only help to block carbohydrates because, it can inhibit amylase. It can stop the amylase, from digesting the carbo. Only one type of action on carbohydrate. Whereas the green coffee bean extract also the same, works on as carbo blocker, enzyme, stop the enzyme, amylase from digesting the carbohydrate. But cannot do better than sugar. I mean another work like sugar, you can't convert and you cannot block. Whereas the fermented soy sold in the market does an opposite to the 2 products here. This fermented soy is a sugar blocker, and it disallow the glucosidase enzyme to digest sugar fast. See? In other words, fermented soy will only block sugar, cannot block carbohydrate. Compared to white kidney bean and green coffee bean, only block carbo but not blocking sugar. So these 3 products, only serve one purpose. Compared to our sugar block chromium, we serve, by blocking the carbohydrate. It also helps us to block the sugar because it can work on amylase, by not allowing this enzyme to digest the carbo too fast, and also the glucosidase, in our gut, not, to digest the carbo, you see, and the sugar. So it can work on, carbohydrate and sugar. So if we can find a product clinically researched, tested, and proven that can block the carbohydrate and the sugar level, don't you think this is the right time for modern living, modern people, young people who are enjoying so much of the carbohydrate food in the market, hawker center, or even at home? If we keep on taking the food, knowing it contains high sugar and carbo, yet we do nothing, we are going to grow old to catch disease and sickness. So if we don't want to wait for the day to come when our body will experience the discomfort, we have to start early by taking certain supplement of correct food since or while you are young to protect your system from not being harmed and not overloading the sugar and the carbo to an extent, you will have, a lot of complications. Not only one, sugar will lead to a lot of complications. You can name A to Z, they are involved. See? So our sugar block, is up to 10 times more superior sugar and carbohydrates blocking activity compared to other popular products, sold in the market. So if, this product is already proven and a lot of people, in the market has already been taking, these are the people who can tell you how good it is, especially diabetic patients or those who already suffer from blood sugar levels. A lot of these people are taking and it's proven and they are enjoying this, the supplements. Yeah? So if it works, why must we wait? And don't always, say, I'm okay, I don't have blood sugar, I don't need this. No, this is not meant for people already have blood sugar. It is not meant for people already suffering from diabetes. It is also meant for young people. Before you get it, you start to block all the food which contains carbo and sugar content. All these hidden ingredients which you don't see. You see, So these are what, we want to share so that, I take to prevent. I take to disallow. I take, to make sure my body don't, allow the leftovers of sugar to, load my system. So don't take for granted it's only meant for those who already, got complications or already got sickness and disease. No. So you just look at this chart again. Without sugar block, increase blood sugar levels. Blood sugar level keep on surging, keep going up. With sugar block, action can last for even more than 3 hours. It keep on making sure sugar level goes down. Body converted into energy. It will work, within, the minus, 48%. Bring down the sugar by more than even 48%. So just imagine, of course, if you a person already got diabetic, you still have to make sure that you are not only taking the drug to bring down the numbers, but you must, take correct supplement to bring down the sugar. We are not going to bring down the numbers. We really want to bring down the sugar. And sugar block and chromium does this job not only temporarily, but the action inside our system, in the blood works, within 3 hours. Other product, they don't even do the research, to tell you how long it lasts. But here is proven in 7 human clinical trials and are supported by 12 scientific studies. All done before the product is out in the market. Not a lot of products sold in the market are just, hearsay, claim, and the label to claim how good it is. We don't claim, we show you all the important, the what they call the research and the papers. You see? So sugar carb blocker versus fat blocker. So you look at the sugar carb blocker, sugar block, and there are other the products in the market which are only able to help the body to block fat but not sugar. Ours is both sugar and carbohydrate blocker. And when we take our sugar block, it does not block beneficial nutrients found in sugar and carbohydrate rich food. Your body is going to absorb and utilize. It will not block. Whereas the fat blocker interferes with fat soluble vitamins like vitamin A, D, E, and K from absorbing. You block, because it's a fat blocker, it blocks this sort of content, the fat soluble vitamins. And sugar block here does not interfere with bowel movements. You still continue with easy, flow of, defecate your feces. And fat blocker may trigger abnormal bowel habits into loose stool or even oily stools. So this fat blocker, it goes, into your stool. Whereas Suka block never interfere with your bowel movements. And it does not cause irregular periods, for ladies. Whereas fat blockers, there are a lot of complaints, especially ladies, after taking certain time, it causes, irregular menstrual, complaint. So, in fact, our Suka block will do more good than harm. Rather than, fat blocker will never be able to do good, but, creating certain harm. So this is where we not only tell you how good it is to block, but at the same time, we tell you through research, and done, it will never block all the beneficial nutrients or even vitamins from the food, because they are not blocking the vitamins, isn't it? So vitamins will be absorbed by your body or synthesized directly into the bloodstream. But those not wanted, sugar and carbo, it will continue to do the job by blocking and assisting the body, to be able to, to utilize only the good sugar, and the bad ones, have, to continue to keep blocking. We can't keep them, in our system. So directions for use: take 4 tablets 30 minutes before meals. Alternatively, chew the tablets and swallow a glass of water right before meals. Very easy. So don't talk about taste lah. Anything that is good sometimes might not give you a pleasant taste. You don't have to worry. You don't have to talk about the taste. Just open the mouth, chew, and you can feel. Don't talk about bad taste. Why don't you say, wow, it tastes like, lemon. Wow, it tastes, like strawberry. Isn't it? You can command the taste. Don't just, allow the mouth, to tell you the taste alone. We can command. Enjoy what you are taking, and your body will do a better job. So for best results, take 1 to 3 times daily before sugar or carbo-heavy meals. If you really eat a lot, morning breakfast also eat a lot of carbohydrate, then you better do, before breakfast. And normally people take heavy meals during lunch. That is the one meal, I think most of us, if we really enjoy big, the amount of food, containing carbohydrate, especially lunch, do, 4 tablets, and chew them during, lunchtime. And dinner, if you don't eat a lot, or you might only take meat or even veggies, but not so much of the carbo, you may not have to take. So only to those 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, are all high carbohydrate, big amount, big content. You better do 3 times a day. And the product is suitable for all vegetarians, whether you're strict or the non-strict, vegetarian. It is meant for, vegetarians. So enjoy sugary foods and carbo-heavy meals, guilt-free and worry-free. If you want to take heavy meal of carbo and that before, you chew 4 tablets, you already help the body to counter and respond, isn't it, to this carb and the sugar content of food. So we cannot always worry. We must always, know how to do things for the system. Worry can never give you a good solution. Face reality, understand what to do, is how you are enabling the body to be able to work on the food, and the food you took, still you can enjoy. You don't have to worry. You see, in so long as we know how to limit, and at the same time, if I know I'm going to take a lot of, the high carb food, 30 minutes in a head, take 4 tablets, of sugar block. Chew them, then, every time you enjoy the carbohydrate food, do so. And challenge number 2, gout. We know, high purine foods increase the risk of gout. And purines, are a natural substance from food, we are taking, in fact, every day. Purines aren't all bad, but you want, to avoid high amounts. That's why, any food we take, no matter how bad or how good it is, limit. We are not supposed to take high content of every type of food. So especially purines. It's good food. We cannot blame it's not good, but don't take high amount or avoid high amounts. Because, when your body, ingests purine, it produces a waste product called, uric acid. So if you take a high amount of purine, the waste product turns to uric acid. So this build up of uric acid, crystals in the joints, then can cause, certain health issues. It can be gout, it can be rheumatoid arthritis, or whatever a doctor may name. Yet, you're not suffering from all those names. Your body is trying to tell you the amount of purine food you took, convert, to, the, what you call the waste product, uric acid. And if it is not going to urine, it enters the blood, making your blood uremic. And this, is where it can swell. It can be very painful until you can't even move. Okay? So we are supposed to understand that, every 100 grams of meats, or organ meats or seafood, like lamb contains 182 milligrams of purine. Shrimp contains 147. Liver contains 95 milligrams. Beef tenderloin contains 119 milligrams of purines. Sardine contains 210, which is quite high. And crab, contains 150 milligrams of purines. So this, dietary purines intake should not be more than 400 milligrams per day. So if you understand the purine food and you're not taking more than 400 per day, you are protected. Okay? So every time, every day, every type of food we want to put through the mouth, we need to understand how much you're taking. One piece of lamb, about 100 grams, is 182. So you don't take, if you take, saying 200 grams, it's still okay. If you take 200 grams of the lamb, it's only, the 364, which is below 400, isn't it? But if you take 3 pieces, then it's already more than 400 milligrams. Right now. So always understand what's the food. Work out, is, the weight, how much it carries, and is it above the level, of the purine, which you will then turn to, uric acid. If you keep on working out and understand the food, you are still safe, isn't it? And if not, then you must also know what sort of food I take that can counter this. Okay? So if you talk about this challenge of gout, a lot of people, I can tell you, is suffering. Sometimes they can't even walk to the market. They can't even leave the house. And doctor keep treating them, gout, rheumatism, and the medication is just a painkiller. And some of these patients already long-term taking doctor's drug and medication, yet, the pain still stays. And they can't, move freely. Makes them unable to, move, or not, the free, or, no freedom, in movement. So we don't want to live, to the extent our body movement is restricted. We are supposed to have freedom to move and not restricted to move, isn't it? So again here, if you look at, intake of high sodium foods, these are all high sodium. Like, sometimes you might not know. A common one, bread alone, bread, yeah, and rolls, bread roll, even pizza, sandwiches, cold nuts, and cured, the meats, soup, most of the soup contains sodium, and then the burritos and tacos, savory snacks, chicken, cheese, eggs, omelette, and a lot of even, popcorn, pretzel, snack, crackers, all these contain a lot of, sodium. So we don't know them. We just know how to take and enjoy. Each time you work, on the computers, another hand, keep, the putting, into your mouth a lot of these, crackers, which you keep adding sodium into your body. And then physical inactivity, dormant life. People don't move, sit more. Your body only burn 75, the calories, every 1 hour only 75. For the 10 hours you sit is only 750, which is below 1,000. That is unhealthy. We have to move and burn calorie more than 1,002 to 1,006 every day. That's why movement is important. We have to keep moving the body. We cannot sit and do nothing. So, that's why exercise, 1 hour to 1.5 hours daily, or at least, 4 days to 6 days is considered healthy. And the food, again, insufficient intake of protein, and vitamin B1. A lot of food we took, like B1, our body can't produce, B vitamins. So we really have to take from food. And then this challenge, is number 3, water retention. When too much of this food, intake of sodium, you don't move a lot, and then you don't sweat, and you don't have enough of good protein to, to convert into energy, and body don't have enough of the, the vitamin B1. So the body will start to retain certain amount of water, and that is the load, to our kidney. From all these sort of food, high intake of sodium, physical inactivity, insufficient intake of protein and B vitamin 1, your kidney has no electrolyte and can't conduct electrolyte balance. So when the kidney faces, electrolyte imbalance, water retention takes place. See? So these are all very common problems, and we have something that can help humans not to solve this complaint, like the supplement which is rich in polyphenols, misai, which is high in antioxidants, misai, and contain a lot of minerals, misai. So when a person takes misai, it will help to improve blood circulation, relaxes organ wall muscles and blood vessels, thus improving cellular functions. It's helping our epithelial cells mostly, most of our epithelial cells. So these, in fact, come from, the polyphenols. And research shows, polyphenols can help to manage blood pressure levels and keep your body vessels healthy and flexible, which is very important. When our blood vessel is healthy and flexible, it will promote, healthy, constant circulation. Our blood will have a constant flow. Can never be fast, can never be slow. And it also helps to reduce the risk of gout. By, when you reach the gout by increases uric acid excretion. You want to excrete out the uric acid content, the waste product from the purines, the food you took. And at the same time, decreases the likelihood of uric acid, crystallization one day in the joints. You call it gout, swollen and painful. And again, Misa Kuching, help us to detoxify the body by moving the toxin out from the blood vessels. We don't want them to flood and flow with the blood. It eventually could help to improve our kidney function. You urinate better. So once the urine start output, increase, the load for the kidney become less. And if there's no load, you will never have, kidney problem, kidney complaint, gout, or even water retention, or even kidney stones. So a diet, high in antioxidants, polyphenols, then antioxidants may reduce the risk of many diseases. Antioxidants scavenge free radicals from the body cells at the same time help to prevent and reduce the damage caused by oxidation. These are what antioxidants can do. So don't just look at Misai Kuching just as a beautiful flower, but the content of polyphenols and antioxidants does wonders, to our body. Improve circulation, reduce the risk of gout, detoxify, and enable the kidney to function better. We don't want things to load until the kidney is stressed to a certain limit. It will start to lead to complaints and discomfort. So tips, for healthy Raya celebration. We have to fill up stomach before, open house event, isn't it? Keep away from triggers. Eat a smaller portion, more vegetables and fruits than carbohydrates. Replace coconut milk with fresh milk in cooking. Drink water instead of ice syrup or carbonated drinks. And try to be physically active. Every day, try to move, from 800 to 1,000 steps. That is what, the body in its way can, function better. So we have to do something to prepare the body for the best on the day, that we are going to celebrate, That's why we cannot just wait for the body to give us the best, but we must do something for the body to serve us the best. So the recommended daily intake. Before meals, take 4 tablets, 30 minutes. After meals, you take, the steep 1 tea bag in a mug of boiling water, 300 ml for 10 minutes. And you can take 1 to 3 cups daily after meals. So this is very simple, isn't it? Before meals, you take, 4 chewable tablets. After meals, you just enjoy a cup of, Misa Kuching, which is about 300 ml, and you just enjoy before meals, after meals. If you do it daily, especially now, during, the past month, in preparation, for the most auspicious day to come, you are active, lively, and healthy to really enjoy, the, important Hari Raya. That's why, we have every opportunity to do so if we plan, understand, plan, and do things right. See? So on this very special occasion of Hari Raya, I take this opportunity to wish you and your loved ones a happy selamat and a blessed, Hari Raya Idul Fitri. May you and your family be showered with good health. Selamat Hari Raya Idul Fitri. So I think I end here and I pass to Grace.
Hi, are there any questions? No question. So that's all for today. Thank you for joining with us. Have a good day and stay safe. Thank you, Dr. Go.
Thank you. Welcome, welcome. So
Bye.
see you tomorrow.
Yeah.